dog's barking. Linda. Mile offshore, I can see the lamp in your hands, beckoning me that I need a safe place to land. Mile offshore, guess I'm home, my friend. Catch a full night of sleep again. I'm not going back out again, my friend. From a mile offshore, it looks like 73. So little has changed, this one pub village I see. The windows glisten, the hills are green. I hear your voice calling out to me. From here we both could be 17 again. I hear your mother and father are gone. They say I'm not the type you can depend upon. Looking back from this line of sight, I can only say your mother and father were right. Mile offshore, the dolphins dance by my hull, circling me to the lilting song of the gulls. I know that's what I've been sailing toward. When I tie down, you can climb aboard for a little dance. It's a sweet reward to ourselves. From my long, clear history of selfish deeds, I come home with only apologies. There's no blame if you turn your back. To hell with that, you're out there waiting for me. Mile offshore, I can see the lamp in your hand, beckoning me. I said I need a safe place to land. Mile offshore, guess I'm home, my friend. Catch a full night of sleep again. I'm not going back out again, my friend. Mile offshore, guess I'm home, my friend. Catch a full night of sleep again. I'm not going back out again, my friend. Mile offshore, I can see the lamp in your hand. Oh, 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 oh. Mile offshore, guess I found a safe place to land. Oh, 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 oh. Mile offshore, oh, oh, oh. Mile offshore, oh, oh, oh. Mile offshore, oh, oh. So Linda's on, so somebody's on, but I don't know if I, oops, bam, don't know if I did it right this time. I made the mistake of doing my promo video, and the promo video may have counted as my, thank you, Linda, may have counted as my show. So I'm not sure if my show's going out, but you're watching the show, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm doing the show, so see if anybody else climbs aboard. They may have watched the promo video and thought, well, that's the show tonight. Anyway, the show tonight is about, I'm preaching to the choir because Linda has one, and it's about this new CD. It just came out. People should be finding them in the mailboxes right now, today. Some of them arrived today at people's homes. And as I always say, a lot of times with my CDs, the best part of it isn't really the music. The best part is the cover art. And over the last, I've been doing these since 1978, 75, at different levels of sophistication. And I've been doing multi-track CDs since 1987. and started using the digital recording devices in 2000, 1999 actually, and then in 2009 I bought the Tascam that I use now, and I actually started getting a little more serious about recording techniques and things like that, and started taking them seriously. And it just so happened that 2009 was also the year that I met Shawn Palek. I was playing in that little coffee shop down in the, I think it was the Midland Financial Building. It's the building that's catty-cornered to the Polk County Courthouse. It's where the county attorneys were. And I used to play there about once a month in this little coffee shop. And there's a character, a guy that used to come in named James Getz. And James would come in and basically just read and do his work, and I'd play my music. And he was, he very politely every once in a while would clap and just do his work, and I'd do mine for 2 hours, and that would be that. And then one day James told me that he was part of a group called Artaholics, a group of artists that put on shows. And he asked me if I'd be interested in playing music as one of his shows. And as I told him, I'm interested in playing music anywhere anybody wants me to play music. So I said yes, I'd do it. And the first one was in the Kirkwood Hotel, and it was June 26, 2009. And I know that because I saw it on Shawn Palek's Facebook about a year ago, that this is the time that we first met, because he and Misty were both showing art at this show at the Kirkwoods. That's when we first met. And actually, I don't remember Shawn from that as much as I remember Misty, because Misty had given me an idea actually at that art show. Misty has suggested that I buy one of these contraptions, and what that is you take a credit card, an old credit card, and you punch it, and you can make guitar picks out of it. This thing is a guitar pick press, and you make them out of old credit cards. So I ordered this, and I got it, and I went to town on all my old credit cards, and I made a bunch of guitar picks. In fact, and I've got a cup full of them here, of guitar picks that I made out of my old credit cards. In fact, some of them, I was thinking, well, where's my Yonkers card? And I thought, damn it, I made guitar picks out of it. But at any rate, I've got a whole cup full of them there. I've kind of settled on the Dunlop guitar picks since then. But anyway, the main thing at the time that came out of that June 26, 2009 art show, the Artaholics art show, was Misty had told me about this pick punch, as they call it, and that was that. Now, in terms of hi Randy, in terms of what I played at that particular art show, and I'm sure it's all the songs that were kind of like my standards at the time, including this one, which would have been a good one to play at an art show because it's kind of about art. You know this. I'm sure I played this that day. Well, we all know the tale of the young Spanish prince living in exile in a house so immense that he puts up to help in a village of tents, charges exorbitant rents. When the king passed away quite mysteriously, the young Spanish prince took it personally, ranting and raving from midnight to 3, blaming the death on the queen. Oh, the hall is half full, the mood is intense. Soon a somber address from the young Spanish prince spits out the words and they seem to make sense. Estar o no estar, eso es la pregunta. You used the Dunlop picks too, Grandy? Now this all may hold a familiar ring, but if you're the prince, it's a serious thing. You lay awake, contemplate, how does one bring revenge for the death of the king? Oh, the hall is half full, The mood is intense, soon a somber address from the young Spanish prince. He spits out the words and they seem to make sense. ¿Está o no está? Eso es la pregunta. Now your girlfriend Ophelia still standing loyal, though you took out her brother with a poisoned dip foil. The tragedy is the reward for her toils is to sleep under 6 feet of soil. On an invalid artistic license, I drove him from Denmark to Spain, where the young prince he made such a show of himself. I won't even mention his name. Oh, the hall is half full, the mood is intense. Soon a somber address from the young Spanish prince. He spits out the words and they seem to make sense. ¿Está o no está? Eso es la pregunta. On an invalid artistic license, I drove him from Denmark to Spain, where the young prince he made such a show of himself. I won't even mention his name. Oh, the hall is half full, the mood is intense. Soon a somber address from the young Spanish prince. He spits out the words and they seem to make sense. ¿Está o no está? Eso es la pregunta. The Young Spanish Prince, a song I'm sure I played at that Artaholic show at the Kirkwood Hotel back on June 26, 2009, the day that I first met Shawn and Misty Palek. So over the years after that, for the next 5 years, we would bump into each other every once in a while at various functions. And every once in a while, they would have a show somewhere, and they would invite me to play it at one of their shows. I know there was one at Smoky Row on a early Sunday afternoon. I think Misty might have been in charge of that one, which I did. And then came the one at the Northland Studios, which is actually very close to where the Palek Gallery wound up. That Korean taco place up on off of 6th Avenue was in that kind of that warehouse building, and the Northland Studios were there, and there was a lot of art studios. And Shawn had a couple of art festivals, and one of them, I think it may have been the first one, was in mid-February of 2011. So it was about a year and a half after we first met, and it would have been about a week and a half after I wrote those 3 songs. Now they all turned 10 years old this year. I always talk about the 3 songs that got me out of that slump back in the winter of 2010, 2011. And this art show was like a week after that. Now I know I played at least the first one at Friedrich's the previous Saturday night. And then after that, we went downtown to People's, and we had that thing for Brandon Finley down there, and I played it there. I don't know if I played the other 2, but I know they were already done and ready by the time the following Friday when I played that show at the Northland Studios. I'm not going to tell the long story that goes along with them, but there is a significance. After I play the 3 of them, I'll tell you what the significance are in my relationship with Shawn Palek. Here's the first one. That sounds great, doesn't it? You can tell I've done time, 'cause I don't hold anything inside. I put up my fantasies like a big highway sign. This may be a little premature, but I cannot defer. Every time I mention you, sounds like a guilty plea, some crime I didn't do. Every time I say your name, Man, I give myself away to stab in the dark. Maybe completely off the mark. I'm not even asking you. I'm just bearing my heart. Reckon I'm not smart enough to lie. It's too big to hide. Every time I mention you, sounds like a guilty plea. Some crime I didn't do. Every time I say your name, man, I give myself away. Reckon I'm not smart enough to lie, but it's too big to hide. Every time I mention you, sounds like a guilty plea. Some crime I didn't do. Every time I say your name, man, I give myself away. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Every time I mention you, sounds like a guilty plea. Some crime I didn't do. Every time I say your name, man, I give myself away. Every time I mention you, the first of the 3 songs I wrote to get me out of that slump back in 2011 in February, so it just turned 10 years old. Here's the second one. I always say that this is the one that's kind of the link between the first and the third, because there's a long story that goes with the third song, which I'm not going to tell today. But actually, this one may be the one that has a story attached. I remember this recurring theme. Some pretty lady merely smiles at me, and I go crazy till the cows come home. Told my colors and I'm all alone. On the tubes again. Will it ever end? I've forgotten where the boundaries are. Shed all my reason trying to get this part. I know you'll hate me for the fires I start. I've forgotten where the boundaries are. I'm gonna set you on the highest plane. I'm gonna tremble when I speak your name. Early on you'll say it's sweet, I'll bet, but soon enough you'll wish we'd never met. That's the way I am. It gets out of hand. I've forgotten where the boundaries are. Shed all my reason trying to get this part. I know you'll hate me for the fires I start. I've forgotten where the boundaries are. I'm afraid it's true. I set my sights on you. Here I go again. It's like I don't know where I've been. I've forgotten where the boundaries are. Shed all my reason trying to get this part. I know you'll hate me for the fires I start. I've forgotten where the boundaries are. I know you'll hate me where the boundaries are. I've forgotten where the boundaries are. I know you'll hate me for the fires I start. I've forgotten where the boundaries are. Well, mine does. Mine sure does. I don't know if, Linda, you like it as much with all those mistakes in it, but it's fun to play when I get it right. Anyway, so that's the second one. I'll get back and talk about that a little bit in terms of the story of what I'm telling today. And this was the third one, which you're all familiar with. I'm looking down on 2nd Street, but I don't see your car. There must be 10 good reasons why you're doing this again. Wish I just knew what they are. Seems like it was yesterday I couldn't chase you out, so I killed the light and locked the inside door. Baby, what's that all about? I put off Santa Fe because you asked me to. Thank you, Randy. 7 months slip by and where are you? Somewhere deep inside of me, I still believe it's true. I'm looking down on 2nd Street. I don't see what I need to see. This isn't what was promised me. I know it isn't fair at times, but I don't think I can bear tonight to not see what I want to see. Looking down on 2nd Street, looking out on 2nd Street. You could see the sunlight coming now, and I haven't even dozed. There's some big fat teardrops dripping down off of both sides of my nose. Now I have to be to work in just an hour or two. So I brush my teeth while I still look out for you. Set the white flag on the countertop, 'cause darling, I refuse. I'm looking down on 2nd Street. I don't see what I need to see. This isn't what was promised me. I know it isn't fair at times, but I don't think I can bear tonight to not see what I want to see. Looking down on 2nd Street, looking out on 2nd Street. Yes, I have to be to work in just an hour or two. So I brush my teeth while I still look out for you. I set the white flag on the countertop, 'cause darling, I refuse. I'm looking down on 2nd Street. I don't see what I need to see. This isn't what was promised me. I know it isn't fair at times, but I don't think I can bear tonight to not see what I want to see. Looking down on 2nd Street, looking out on 2nd Street. I don't see what I need to see. Looking out on 2nd Street. So looking down on 2nd Street. Significance of that, like I say, the first of the three, I know I did that at Friedrich's the previous Saturday and at People's later that night. The other two, maybe not. And the second one, the one that Linda says she likes best of the three, that I always say is just a transition between the second and third. That one's significant because I know that was the first time I ever played that in public at the Northland Studios the following Friday at Shawn's art show. And the reason I know that is when I was doing my sound check before anybody else showed up, I did the sound check on that one so I could see if I had it down, you know. And I was playing through it, and Shawn was across the room, and he said maybe you could turn down a little bit. And that's the only time in all those years, that's the only time that Shawn Palek ever told me to turn down. And I've had a lot of people tell me to turn down in my life, but that was the one time he told me to turn down. And my guess is, I don't think he's listening now. I think he's probably going to watch this later on, because I don't think he wants to be present, because he knows I'm going to talk about that. But anyway, that where the boundaries are, that's the one time, any place, at any location, that Shawn Palek ever told me to turn down. So, a relationship took a little bit of a different turn 2 years after that. As I say, and as we know, because hi Terry, where we are this week and everything, that every year I do a CD in about October. I try to start doing the recording in October, and if I can, I get it out around the 1st of November. This one is about the earliest. Everything fell into place on this one. But at any rate, in 2013, I decided that I wanted to write a song about one of my all-time heroes, and you know where this is going, who was 95 years old and wasn't expected to live much longer. So right about his 95th birthday, I think it was about his 95th birthday, I wrote a song about him. Or maybe it was one of those weeks that they said, he's only got a few days left. And so I was going to write a song about Nelson Mandela. And I was trying, and I wrote some verses. I came up in this room. This is where I did all my writing back in those days. I was up in this room. The Kurzweil digital piano, which is no longer functional, faces the window. So I was sitting there facing the window, trying to come up with a song about Nelson Mandela. And I came up with what I thought was good verses. Nothing really profound or articulate or anything. They're very short verses and everything, but I thought they were applicable. And what I needed was a refrain. I needed a hook. And actually, as I often did, I didn't often do this because I don't really ever solicit advice on writing songs. But that day, I mentioned on Facebook that I am writing a song about Nelson Mandela. And Michael Wellman, Max's dad, got on, and one word, he said, undefeated. And I said, that's it. I said, that's the refrain for my song, and that's going to be the title of this year's CD, Undefeated. And so I wrote the song. I liked the song. I had just, I guess that wasn't the year I got the ukuleles for the first time. I'd been playing for 2 years. But I decided I was going to play it on the uke, and I decided it was going to be the title, and I was going to have a picture of Nelson Mandela on the CD, on the cover. And so I thought I would use, and I wanted the boxing Mandela. Before he was a lawyer, before he was a politician, before he spent 27 years in prison for expressing his views. Nelson Mandela was a boxer, and there's photographs of him being a boxer. And Getty Images basically owns all the photographs in the world, owns the photographs of boxing Mandela. So I wanted to do it right. I didn't want to have a copyright violation or anything like that. So I actually sent a communication, an email communication to Getty Images saying, I would like to use the photo of boxing Mandela as a cover of my CD. And if it's anything like every other year, I'm going to print out about 250 of them, and I'm probably going to distribute a little under 100. And I never heard back from those people. They never bothered to respond. Then the light bulb came on in my head. I don't need a Getty image to have Nelson Mandela on the cover, because I know somebody who can do boxing Mandela. That's the first time I went to Shawn Palek for advice or for cover art, with an idea. And he said, I can do that. And, actually, I don't have the technology, actually, to put a camera in other places in the room, but the photograph or the painting that became the cover of Undefeated is just hanging on the wall right there to my right. And it's a large painting of boxing Mandela, and it's got Shawn's signature in the bottom saying 2013. So that was my cover from that year. This is my ukulele from 2018, 5 years later, the Kamaka. only the best for Madiba. You know the song. Sing along. Undefeated, you do not lie down. So come up off the ground. Undefeated. Madiba, stay. This is not today. Draw another breath. You got 7 wishes left. Get yourself some rest. Madiba, rise. The people watch outside. Come up off the ground. Take the final round. You do not lie down. Undefeated, you do not lie down. So come up off the ground. Undefeated, take the final round. Madiba, soon the world will weep for you. 27 years, no one sheds a tear. How did you get here? Undefeated, you do not lie down. So come up off the ground. Undefeated, take the final round. Oh, 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 oh. Undefeated, you do not lie down. So come up off the ground. Undefeated, you do not lie down. Undefeated, 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 undefeated. Whoa! Take the final round. Undefeated, come up off the ground. Madiba, 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 oh! Come up off the ground. Madiba, oh! Undefeated, my song about Nelson Mandela. One of my all-time favorite heroes, one of the all-time heroes. He was everything. He was Martin Luther King, Lyndon Johnson, Jesus. I mean, he had a little bit of everything in him, and he was what a man he was. And anyway, that was my tribute to him, my very humble, meager tribute to Nelson Mandela. The cover art, the cover from my 2013 CD, Undefeated, with cover art from Shawn Palek. So, that was 2013, end of 2013. End of 2014, I got a call or email or whatever from, I think from Misty, saying that Shawn has found a space in the East Village and is going to open a gallery. And did I want to play at the opening of the gallery? As if that's even a question. As if that's even a question. Of course I do. And it couldn't have come at a better time for me. That the end of it was just 2 weeks before Christmas in 2014, and I was in the middle of a double murder trial in Cedar Rapids. And for the first 2 weeks of the trial, I couldn't even leave on the weekends. I was just trapped up there. And it was an exceptionally miserable period of time, especially the first 2 weeks. Actually, just before the first week started, my brother-in-law graduated from a college up there in Cedar Rapids. So my whole family, my wife and everything, came up on Saturday night, and Saturday for the graduation. We had dinner Saturday night. Then they all went home, and I had to stay in Cedar Rapids for 2 weeks without leaving town. It was miserable. It was miserable. So then at the end of the second week, I was able to go home, and that Saturday was the opening of the Palek Gallery, and it was so great. It was so great to be able to come home and play music for the week. I had to go back up for a few more days after that, but at least I got to come home, and I got to play at this lovely gallery. If you're ever there, you know what I'm talking about. It was magical for me. You know, if you've seen Shawn Palek's art, well, you've seen him on the cover of my CDs and everything. He can do pretty much anything. At the time, the things he was famous for is he had gotten a hold of a rubber fireman's suit. He had painted a tribute to the 9/11 people on that, and won a blue ribbon at the state fair. All kinds of stuff. He paints Harley Davidson, you know, the fuel tanks and the Harley Davidsons and everything. You go into his gallery, and all these faces are staring back at you while you're playing, like Superman and Marilyn Monroe and people that are less well known. And I got to know actually a lot of people I didn't pay any attention to through Shawn Palek and through his art, actually. This Lemmy character, Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. I'm not a big metal guy, and I didn't know much about Lemmy. And there was a picture of Lemmy that was in there. Shawn gave me a couple of CDs, and I listened to him, and actually I got to like him. I got to like Motorhead. I got to like him, and then he died. That was a problem that Shawn and I had. That we had to kind of stop talking about famous people, because every time we talked about a famous person, they died. There was one night I went in there, it was a Friday night, and I had a song that mentioned Elvis. I've got a song that mentions Elvis, and I was telling him, you know, at least we can't kill Elvis because he's already gone. And it just so happened it was Elvis's birthday. And I made the comment, well, you know, it's also David Bowie's birthday. He's not gone, you know, he's still out doing it. He's still out. And then I don't know if it was that day or the day after, then David Bowie died. So anyway, that was you know, Shawn and me at the gallery nights at the art gallery. There was one painting on the wall, and it's actually Shawn made a T-shirt out of it for me. These guys. And I'd be playing it all the time. I'd be playing my songs. I'd be sitting there. I'd be looking at all the faces staring back at me. I knew who pretty much all of them were, you know, Salvador Dali and things like that. And I know who they were, but I couldn't figure out who these guys were. I knew it was some kind of a rock trio. I know it wasn't Metallica, because I don't know if I could pick Metallica out of the lineup or Rush, but I know this wasn't them. And finally I asked him, I did say Lemmy. Lemmy, you probably like Lemmy. I like Lemmy now because of Shawn Palek. But anyway, these three guys, and finally after several months, I said, they look familiar, but what band are they? It's not a band, he said. Don't you ever watch Trailer Park Boys? I never heard of Trailer Park Boys on Netflix, but it just got Netflix. So I started watching the Trailer Park Boys on Netflix. And my wife is just getting madder than hell, because it's the production values and the profanity and everything else. It's just not something you want to subject. She was just getting angry, and I had to watch every single one of them beginning, because I got hooked. So this is the Trailer Park Boys, and actually the year after the gallery closed, Shawn and I went to Hoyt Sherman, and we saw the Trailer Park Boys. So, you know, that sort of thing from playing at that gallery. Every month it was something different. He would come in, and he would, just to try to get people to come in, he would Facebook Live me while I was playing. And so I played this song, and this is an old song. This song actually turns 40 years old this year, and I wrote it in 1981 and kind of forgot about it. And I heard a CD, or not a CD, I heard a cassette of me playing it back in 81, and I thought I kind of liked it, so I started playing it again. And about a year or so before, maybe a couple of years before I played it at the Palek Gallery, I was playing it in a small coffee shop down in Lamoni, Chad Elliott's hometown. And the woman behind the counter she liked it. She made me play it for the owner, and she told me that someday I'm going to be playing this song, and somebody's going to videotape me and put me on the social media, and it's going to go viral, and all my problems will be solved. And so I told that story, and Shawn came up with a cell phone, and he videotaped me playing this song, and that was 6, 7 years ago. And as you know, my problems aren't solved, and I'm still in Des Moines. Remember how I sat here and presumed to know the truth. I thought words could cure a heartache like the sun can melt the ice. What did I really think I knew? I'd love to hear my own advice. A lover is a lover, they're all pretty much the same. If one goes bad, there's others who can please you just as nice. Why can't I seem to break away? I'd love to hear my own advice. Whatever lies between the wise man and the fool must be a very narrow line. What did I really think I knew? I'd love to hear my own advice. I think of all the fools who came, trusted what I said. Even I was learning to believing I was wise. But now I strain my aching head, trying to hear my own advice. Whatever lies between the wise man and the fool must be a very narrow line. What did I really think I knew? I'd love to hear my own advice. Remember how I sat here and presumed to know the truth. I thought words could cure a heartache like the sun can melt the ice. What did I really think I knew? I'd love to hear my own advice. 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 And Terry, your CD, the last I heard was just left Chicago. I don't know if it's going right from Chicago to London or England or what, or if they're going to send it to 5 other places before they send it to England. I tried to send one to Glennis, and they wouldn't send it. Apparently Australia's not taking mail from the United States right now, so I've got to hold on to that. But Great Britain is as it stands, so hopefully you'll be getting it. I know Linda's got hers. Terry, Randy should get yours within a couple days. I got to take it in tomorrow to mail it out. But there's people who've gotten theirs already. If you're on here listening and you don't have one and you want one, just send me a private message with your mailing address and I'll send one to you. Is this coming on my music page or is this coming on my Facebook page? I think it's, I've been trying to get them to come on my music page, but I don't think it is. I think it's on my Facebook page, which is the way I did it really for a long time. Yeah, but I'd rather have it. There's advantages to both, actually. I draw a bigger crowd if I found out if I do it on my music page, but the disadvantage is, you remember last week, and I got those audience members that they weren't so polite, and they showed up on that. Well, this isn't coming on my, I don't know where this is coming out, but there are people watching this right now, so it's coming out somewhere. I don't know where. Anyway, bizarre. I think my promo video came out as my live stream, so it's crazy business. What you think you got it all figured out, and you don't. Yeah, except it's not showing up on my personal page either. On my anyway, doesn't matter. It's one of the advantages of doing it on my personal page is I can watch it on my cell phone right here, and it's easier for me to read. It's easier for me to read the comments. Oh, here it is. Let's see what. Anyway, now I've got it somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I think this is my personal page. I've YouTubed a couple of them. I may YouTube this one. I figured out how to do that. Anyway, so playing at the Palek Gallery. This is one that Shawn actually requested this one from time to time, and usually you've heard it before if you've gone to my shows and you've gotten there before I start, because this is always the one that I use for my sound check and see if all the equipment's working, because I play it on both the guitar and the piano where I can, and so I don't play it during my shows. I just do it for my sound checks, but Shawn liked it, and one time with like 10 minutes before I was supposed to close. One night he asked for it, so I ended up playing for the last 10 minutes of my show. I just stretched this one out for 10. I won't do that tonight, but I did it then. Guess it's come to this again. War breaks out. I'm looking for the nearest door. I just can't fight anymore. Standing in the fog again. Is this about the same lost cause as yesterday? I got just one thing to say. Let me get a full night's sleep. I gotta have a full night's sleep. If I gotta deal with you, it's gonna take the best of me in a full night's sleep. Standing in the fog again. Is this about the same lost cause as yesterday? I got just one thing to say. Maybe there's some common ground. I don't know. I'm open to diplomacy. We may just finally agree. Or maybe that can't happen now. And if that's so, why can't you let me walk away? I got just one thing to say. Let me get a full night's sleep. I gotta have a full night's sleep. If I gotta deal with you, it's gonna take the best of me and a full night's sleep. I don't feel so good right now. I'm not ready for a fight. Couldn't we step back and call a truce and go our separate ways tonight? Let me get a full night's sleep. If I gotta deal with you, it's gonna take the best of me. Let me get a full night's sleep. I gotta have a full night's sleep. If I gotta deal with you, it's gonna take the best of me and a full night's sleep. Full night's sleep. That's the song that Shawn would request. Now, Terry's message, I got as far as Michael Moore, and then it says, see more. I don't know if they're talking about Michael Moore or there's more to the message, but this one I'll have to look at when I get back. So far, I haven't had any requests. Haven't had any requests from Skyraiser to send out, a heads up, if one of his friends congratulating them on 100 days in office or something like that. But that may be coming. But I'll be, I always appreciate people from other continents listening to my music, But we'll see. See if you like it. So, I play at this gallery once a month on the second Friday of the month. In 2014, the year I played the opening at Palek's, my CD was the Mutants That I'll Never Understand, the Yankees fans. I had that picture that's photograph that I took myself. I guess you might call it a selfie, actually. But and then 2015 was the 40th anniversary of the ill-fated appointment with me and John Lennon, and I asked Shawn if there's something he wanted to do for that, and he's put it to his students, and they came up with an extraordinary art cover for that, and actually that's hanging up here to my right as well, over Undefeated. Then 2016, I wrote a lot of good songs in 2016, and the title of the CD was "Hit From Behind." We had some. My mother passed away. My father-in-law passed away. My dog Gucci passed away. All within 2 months of each other, and so I'd written this. But basically, the title song was about my wife coming home from work one day, saying that she had been rear-ended on 2nd Avenue, and I said, "Well, were you hurt badly?" She goes, "Well, not too badly." And I said, "Well, good. I can write a song about it then." So I wrote this song, "Hit From Behind." I made it the title song for my CD. There was one line I added to it. I wrote 2 verses, no refrain. Added one line to the end. I thought, this is a song that I like. So I talked to Shawn, and he put together that album cover with that beautiful 2-toned Chevy Bel Air that my parents bought the year I was born on it. And that's from Hit From Behind. Has a little bumper damage on it. But this is the title song for that CD, and the basis for Shawn's. I got hit from behind today. I got hit from behind. When you don't see it coming, struck your breath away. Everybody's watching. You don't know what to say. You want to tell them that you're gonna sail through this, but you don't know what the damage is. I got hit from behind today. I got hit from behind. Goes to show no matter how you plan the day, something's gonna happen. It goes a different way. Goes to show me that the only thing I need is a dose of flexibility. The one thing that keeps rattling in my head are the last words that my mother said. I got hit from behind today. And then songs on Hit From Behind on that CD, a lot of my music between early 2015 and mid 2017, I premiered it at the Palek Gallery. I mean, the first time I played a lot of these songs in front of people were at the gallery night shows, like this one. find any pride at all. I say I won't let myself get involved. I say I learned from you fooling me twice. I say I'm not even taking your call. This isn't gonna be like then. I know you're not out to hurt me again. That you respect me for paying those dues, and that you wouldn't do that to your friend. So I jump in again. Is there a path to me and you? Is there something I can do? You cut me any slack at all for what I let you put me through? Is there any hope in sight? Some distant point of light to show me I'll be on the right track very soon, on the path to me and you. I'm gonna take you at your word as far as what lays ahead is concerned. I know we both lost a limb in that war. We're both hoping the fortunes have turned. But if you come here to deceive, make it a story that I can believe. And maybe I'll turn the tables on you. Maybe I'll have you following me, 'cause I'm not that naive. Is there a path to me and you? Is there something I can do? You cut me any slack at all for what I let you put me through? Is there any hope in sight? Some distant point of light to show me I'll be on the right track very soon, on the path to me and you. So facing my obsession, making my confession, that I made all the grand concessions over you. Did it 'cause you asked me to? Is there a path to me and you? Is there something I can do? You cut me any slack at all for what I let you put me through? Is there any hope in sight? Some distant point of light to show me I'll be on the right track very soon, on the path to me and you. Is there a path to me and you? Is there something I can do? You cut me any slack at all for what I let you put me through? Is there any hope in sight? Some distant point of light to show me I'll be on the right track very soon, on the path to me and you. There's that one. I don't play it a lot. I think I remember playing it. I think Brother Trucker was kind enough to have me in at the Lefties, well, not Lefties, but at the place that used to be Blues on Grand, to play at their say halftime on one of their breaks, and I played that song that night. This is another one off that CD that I don't play very often. It's a good one to play for a very small group of people. I know Linda and Rick saw me play it back when I first wrote it. I clock in at 7:10. Boss says, Jack, you're late again. I say, you can suck my you-know-what. I used to get away with shit like that. Now I'm taking classes, don't know why I chose the battles that I fought. I don't know why I chose the battles that I fought. I think I could have made a dent, could have been vice president, or would have gave diplomacy a shot. Now I'm here to dig another hole, I never get no passes. I'm still paying for the battles that I fought. I'm still paying for the battles that I fought. Stand up for yourself, they say. I've been standing every day as I watch my future melt away. Stand up for yourself, they say. I've been standing every day as I watch my future melt away. I clock in at 7:10. Boss says, Jack, you're late again. I say, you can suck my you-know-what. I used to get away with shit like that. Now I'm taking classes, don't know why I chose the battles that I fought. I don't know why I chose the battles that I fought. I don't know why I chose the battles. I'm not even in the saddle. I don't know why I chose the battles that I fought. That one might not be much to listen to, actually, but you know, the gallery nights at Palek's, it was they're Friday nights, you know, and my day job back the whole time I was playing at Palek's, Fridays were the hardest day of work, the most difficult, and I had a lot of songs about how much I enjoyed my day job, and that was one of them really, but it was fun to play, but I don't play it very often because it's not fun to listen to. Anyway, one more song from Hit From Behind, a ballad, one of my favorite ballads actually, and another one that got its start at Palek's studio, gallery nights at the studio. Tonight you lie down with him, try to tell me that it doesn't feel like sin. Try to tell me that you're comfortable with this. You could ever be accustomed to another lover's kiss. I won't be there to hear you lie, but I know you from that other place and time. Try to tell me that it's fine. When you're together in the dark, dig beneath the topsoil of your heart. Is he showing you the future you had planned? Does he realize that you're linked to a completely different man? Do you realize that yourself? Are you so drawn in by his status and his wealth? Try to tell me that it helps. Are you satisfied with choices made? That my time ran out yesterday. Try to tell me you've moved on, and I should walk away tonight when he drifts off to sleep. Try to tell me that you don't revert to me. Try to tell me you're not dwelling on our years. Truly wish you never walked away from here. I'm not around to hear you lie, but I know you from that other place and time. Try to tell me that it's fine. Try to tell me that it's fine. Try to tell me. So songs from 2016. So then we came on to 2017, which took an ugly turn about 4 months into the year in terms of, me and Shawn actually. But there were still songs that were played at the gallery over that winter, 2016, 2017. There's this one, same key, it's in the key of G, and it's on the following year's CD. You might know this. This is a lot of work for me. People like to watch me play this song because they want to see if I'm going to pass out while I'm playing it. But I played this for the first couple of times, actually, at the Palek Gallery. I used to tug the tap a mile away. I walked into one today. You said, why don't we take a walk? We need to talk. He's off with some gossip about friends, how they battled to the end. Then I realized what it was us. And I'm supposed to care about the next door neighbor's love affair. You just put up that sign, I'd say I'm totally preoccupied. Telling me to smile, you're saying, don't act like a juvenile. I could walk a country mile, still act like a juvenile. There will be no comfort there, and I'm supposed to care. And know from having been there more than once, there's no controlling my response. I scream whatever comes to mind, punching blind. This is not dialogue, it's war. Tell me what it takes to score, what it takes to gain the ground, to get me down. And I'm supposed to care about the next door neighbor's love affair. Just throw up that sign, I say I'm totally preoccupied. Telling me to smile, you're saying don't act like a juvenile. I could walk a country mile, still act like a juvenile. There will be no comfort there, and I'm supposed to care. I know from there may be some merit to your claims. I've been a chronic source of pain. Maybe it's time to heal the wounds you sustained. You cannot run to me for any help. I'm only in it for myself, and though I'd love to ease your pain, I'll never change. And I'm supposed to care about the next door neighbor's love affair. Just throw up that sign, I say I'm totally preoccupied. Telling me to smile, you're saying don't act like a juvenile. I could walk a country mile, still act like a juvenile. There will be no comfort there, and I'm supposed to care. I could walk a country mile, still act like a juvenile. There will be no comfort there, and I'm supposed to care. I really miss it too. You know, in January, what they did on the gallery nights was Shawn would feature the work of some local artist, and it would be, you know, his work and Misty's work, and then a whole section of whoever the local artist was that was being featured. But one night in January of 2017, decided that instead of doing it that way, they would have a pirate luau. And what they would do is it'd be two themes. One of them would be pirate theme, and the other one would be Hawaiian luau. And he would invite any artist who had art that on those two subjects, both or either one, to exhibit their art at this show. And so I wrote a song for it, and then I also got online and I dropped $79 on a pirate costume so I could get into the mood, so I could be a pirate. So I got there in my $79.95 pirate costume, and I was playing, and all of a sudden these people start walking in wearing like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of pirate paraphernalia that they'd made themselves. I mean, it was serious. They were serious about it. And all of a sudden, I was being shamed. I was being pirate shamed by these guys. They were making fun of me. This, you know, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You know, do you want chicken? You want hush puppies with your fish planks or whatever. I mean, I felt terrible about it. But I had something that they didn't. I had a pirate song. And so I premiered this song at the Pirate Luau at the Palek Gallery in, I think, January of 2017. Well, His Majesty promised $1 a day. I signed my future away. Bowed and saluted for 17 months, but I'm simply not bred to obey. Seize this old schooner, assembled a crew, and tonight I'll be coming for you. Throw down the ladders, I'm fixing to board the race for the islands ahead of the storm. Outrun His Majesty's Navy once more. I learned all his moves in the war. Yes, I learned all his moves in the war. When they tell you my story, they tremble with fear, and that is how I wish to appear. I've built some fingers, I've taken some scalps, but that's not the reason I'm here. If you want to go home with a tall tale to tell, listen and do listen well. Throw down the ladders, I'm fixing to board the race for the islands ahead of the storm. Outrun His Majesty's Navy once more. I learned all his moves in the war. Yes, I learned all his moves in the war. I'm a middle-aged pirate, I'm losing the fire. It's this one, and then I retire. Throw down the ladders, I'm fixing to board the race for the islands ahead of the storm. Outrun His Majesty's Navy once more. I learned all his moves in the war. Yes, I learned all his moves in the war. Throw down the ladders, I'm fixing to board the race for the islands ahead of the storm. Outrun His Majesty's Navy once more. I learned all his moves in the war. Yes, I learned all his moves in the war. That was a pirate luau night at Palek's Gallery and Studios on 6th Street on January of 2017. While I was playing there one night, I don't think it was that night, but one of those nights right around there, I got word just about the end of the night that my nephew, Bobby Prine, who's a better musician than I am, but he had just passed a California bar exam. And so I finished the show that night with this song, which Shawn videoed it, put it out on Facebook Live, me doing it, which I dedicated to Bobby, about the night that his house burned down in the Cedar Fires back in 2001. So that would have been, 16 years earlier, when Bob was just a young guy. Now, when the house was burning down, my sister took the hard drive of the computer and the dog. That's what was important to her. Bobby took the Les Paul, the gold Les Paul. That's my nephew. But then he took a bad turn and went to law school. But anyway, then he passed the California bar. This is a song that I played for him that night at the Palek Gallery when I got the word that he had passed the bar. Had this feeling walking out today that the winds were fierce and the sky was gray. Glanced back at the sculpture where the tree fell, and I had it made. Ran down to the canyon floor. I saw the smoke a good 20 miles away. Glanced back up at the house. Better not go out too far today. As we drove away on summer lawn, I said, don't you worry now, it won't be long. 12 years at the canyon's edge, of all the time to figure on. Flames reared up on either side, made a sudden dash across Highway 5. To think of it now, lucky we drove out of there alive. We watched the cedar fire rush up the ridge, ate every stitch of clothes that we ever owned, and woke up to the life we lived. And by the time the same sun set, we were driven from our home. Wooden porch on Mission Bay, it's all so very far away. Hey, let's not dwell on memories of the past we gave up yesterday. The yellow lab sleeps at my feet, dreams of all the colors in the flames. But I'm burning now. Guess I'm just not comfortable with change. We watched the cedar fire rush up the ridge, every stitch of clothes that we ever owned. I woke up to the life we lived, and by the time the same sun set, we were driven from our home. Cedar Fire, which, always some drama at the Palek Gallery night, and that was a good night, and that's how it ended, with good news for me. And that was that. So, from now on, when I do this, it's going to be dark when I start, next week. I'm assuming there's going to be one next week. Thank you, Randy. Linda and Rick will remember that on her birthday in 2017, a couple months after that, April 27th, I played up at Perry, where I'll be next week, playing in La Poste. So I did that, and then the next morning, I took the next day off because that was my birthday. It was my 61st birthday on April 28th. And I went down to Five Sons, the burger place. You know, I used to love eating at Five Sons, the burgers. I get a burger and a hot dog. They have both of them, and a bunch of those greasy fries that they made. And I love them. I love them. Of course, I can't eat any of that stuff now, but it was great then. And I was eating my lunch, and I ate it in my car, and because the place was packed on the inside. And yeah, it was a fun show. It was a fun place to play. I haven't been back there since then, but I was eating, and I was sitting there eating my burger, my hot dog, and my fries in my car, and had Facebook on, and Shawn came on Facebook. He put a post saying that they're closing the gallery. So that was kind of out of left field, and that was, of course, it was bad for him because that was his what he was doing for a living and everything. So it was bigger news in their life than it was in mine. But you know the way my mind works, it's all about me. You know, I'm the center of the damn universe, and that was a big loss for me because 2.5 years I'd been playing at that place every once a month, and it was a favorite place to play. I mean, it was like home. That stage they had was just perfect. What an environment. Surrounded by all these famous people, hanging on the walls all around you, and you never knew who was going to walk in. A lot of my friends, a lot of local celebrities came in. It was just always a great night and everything. So they decided to have one big final gallery night in early June, and of course invited me to play at it, and I wanted to come with something for it. So I came with this, and this was became the title song for my CD that year. It's actually the title song, or figures into the title song of this live stream today, and Shawn did the cover art on that one too. So the vacant storefront up on 6th Street, north of Grand. Not the bike stop, but right there. I know that room, I know it very well. I spent a lot of hours on that wooden stage. There's a lot of tales to tell. The stage, that's a good word. It was a brief stage in my history. But not just me, no, not just me. It's like I see the whole community crowd together on that stage. The dude with the airbrush is the cree-AYE-tor, bringing all forms of life into the world. From the big incubator of his mind, in a fraction of the time, strolling in the village, I hear a voice say, "Welcome, friend. There's a woman there to let me in, just inside the door. Is the cree-AYE-tor, the cree-AYE-tor." Back in the corner, strumming my guitar. The truth is, I do it for the view. It's not that there's no place else to go. I'm addicted to the show. Friday evening, and there's more folks gathering. And all I gotta do is sing just across the floor. From the cree-AYE-tor, the cree-AYE-tor. He toils away like none of us were there. It's nothing but a canvas square, till details emerge and I see a shock of Elvis hair. A spark of life that comes to tacit pall, like every face along the wall. Studied with eyes of progeny of aerosol. The dude with the airbrush sees this every day and responds in his own most gracious way. Would you all like a pastry for the road? Please come in from the cold. Friday in the village, I'll keep it open all night long. And my friend has a brand new song. Tonight the store says the cree-AYE-tor, There's a vacant storefront up on 6th Street, north of Grand. The cree-AYE-tor, my song about Shawn, the first of two, actually. So, no more gallery nights. I played a couple of shows in his, I think 3 of them actually, in his neighborhood for like the 4th of July and their big street parties. After that, and of course we went to see Trailer Park Boys that year, and I continued every year to release CDs. I released the cree-AYE-tor that year, and that was the title song. The next year, title song which he illustrated was Ample Waves of Gray. Takes a little patience, and the girls at Rod Salon, with a little dab of product, you'll be just like John. And when I speak of John, you know I'm talking about me. If you got $40, come down here and you'll see. Everybody asks about my hairdo, about the ample waves of gray. It's not something that I work at very much. They just grow out that way. Oh, everybody asks about my hairdo when it's not a windy day. Most of my adulthood, I kept it cropped quite close. Couldn't buy a date from Indiana to the coast. But all I had to do, simply put the scissors down. That's the day my history changed the most. Everybody asks about my hairdo, about the ample waves of gray. It's not something that I work at very much. They just grow out that way. Oh, everybody asks about my hairdo when it's not a windy day. When I speak of John, you know I'm talking about me. If you got $40, come down here and you'll see. Everybody asks about my hairdo, about the ample waves of gray. It's not something that I work at very much. They just grow out that way. Oh, everybody asks about my hairdo when it's not a windy day. And it's not a windy day. Just grow out that way when it's not a windy day. Everybody asks about my hairdo. Off the title song for my 2017-2018 CD, Ample Waves of Gray. Now, 2019, I did the cover art myself for Form Letter from a Retired Prostitute. And then 2020, Shawn did my cover, did an excellent, you know, probably, it would be, if there was an award to give for that, it would be an award-winning cover art for my CD, Badass Storm 2020, which I harped about for the last year. Now I'm going to harp about the new one. But anyway, this is the title song for Badass Storm 2020. 2020 Monday, August 10. Sirens blare all over town. Maybe they're just testing them. I don't see a lot of clouds. Moments later and all hell breaks loose. No, there is no now. That derecho was a badass storm. That derecho flattened all my corn. I got no power, can't take a shower. The deck chair swinging on the cell phone tower. I would have run if I was fully warned. That derecho was a badass storm. 200,000 people in the Hawkeye State. They'll be sleeping in the dark. Until the power lines are back up straight, they charge the iPhones in the car. And all the groceries that I just brought home, I should have left them in the car. That derecho was a badass storm. That derecho flattened all my corn. I got no power, can't take a shower. The deck chair swinging on the cell phone tower. I would have run if I was fully warned. That derecho was a badass storm. What does it really mean? It's a straight line windstorm, it will pick you clean. If you don't remember the name, she's the mean twin sister of a hurricane. That derecho was a badass storm. That derecho flattened all my corn. I got no power, can't take a shower. The deck chair swinging on the cell phone tower. I would have run if I was fully warned. That derecho was a badass storm. That derecho was a badass storm. Last year's CD. And Shawn did the cover art for that. I opened this show with the cover art from Mile Offshore. And my new CD, if you don't have one, if you haven't ordered it yet, just private message me your mailing address. I think everybody on here has done that. And Randy's will go out tomorrow. Linda's got hers. And I imagine Terry's is somewhere out of Chicago. I don't know if it's flying over the ocean right now or what. But we'll see. And then Glennis's came back home because can't mail anything to Australia, I guess. But and then actually for the first year I'm putting this out, so you'll be able to get it on Spotify and Amazon and all the streaming services, Apple Music and everything else. I'm probably going to put some of my older ones out too. But I like the way that turned out. In my mind, it's a new Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, because nobody's listened to it yet. After a few people listen to it, I may modify my view of it, but I don't see anything wrong with it, so I'm putting it out. Anyway, I'm going to close with one song off of the new CD, the one song about Shawn. I was watching one afternoon. He started the cookie bakery in his house now, and so he's moved. They were sleeping. Their bedroom was on the first floor. Well, that's where the cookie bakery is now. So he's moved up to the second floor, and he had Don Todd's niece. She's a muralist, and had her paint a mural on their bedroom wall. And he's live streamed. He Facebook lived it while she was doing it, and he was giving her. And I think it's great. He could have done it himself, but he hired another artist to do it, and he was giving her some sage advice actually while she was doing her work. And I took some of that and turned it into a song. If you listen to the CD, it's the way it sounds on the CD is different from the way it sounds here. But anyway, thank you for listening today. I think next week I'm going to do an All Request Tuesday. So if you've got requests of songs that I wrote that I play, I'm up to about 260 or so songs of my songs that are in my act. Make your requests, and that's what I'll do next week. But anyway, thank you for listening today. Next Saturday, it's Art on the Prairie. All weekend, Saturday and Sunday in Perry. All the old buildings in Perry are fixed up, and there's going to be art in every room, and there's going to be an acoustic musician in every room. Get to see all your favorites, at least a lot of them that week, and it's always a real honor for me to be part of that. I'll be in the Hotel Pattee thank you, Linda. I'll be in the Hotel Pattee from 1 to 2:50. Oh yeah, Dave Chappelle next Tuesday. That's going to be interesting. But I like Dave Chappelle, but a lot of people. But there's a good reasons not to, I guess. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for listening. I appreciate everybody who listens to my shows. Anyway, my song about being paid to paint. The muralist told me when I get paid to paint, that's the someday I'll be great. I hone my skills when I get paid to paint. The muralist told me when I get through with this, some Kansas City barbecue is the next thing on my list. I earned my dinner with a flick of the wrist. Maybe art is a genetic trait, a recessive gene, till I'm paid to paint. The muralist goes on into the dead of night. Caught a momentary glimpse of it. The canvas still was white. The muse, she sometimes puts up quite a fight. Sometimes art is like a Trojan horse. You gotta rope that stallion before you lose the force. You're a different person when you're paid to paint. People act like you control your fate. The more you do, you can raise your rate. Maybe art is genetic trait, a recessive gene, till I'm paid to paint. Maybe art is a genetic trait, a recessive gene, till I'm paid to paint. Maybe art is a genetic trait, a recessive gene, till I'm paid to paint. Thank you very much. Have a nice rest of the week, and I'll be back in the dark next Tuesday, I believe. All requests, so, if you have requests, otherwise I'm just going to make my own requests, and we'll just go from there.